you know, getting to grips with figures like this is very difficult. £77 billion increase, £77,000 million increase in wealth. Their total wealth of 1,000 people, only 1,000 people, total wealth of that top 1,000 is now sitting at £333.5 billion. £333.5 billion between 1,000 people. But we need to cut public services. We need to slash the home helps. We need to reduce funding to our schools. We need to look at whether our hospitals can continue to be funded properly. 1,000 people have got £333.5 billion between them. How do we put it into perspective? To try and get some proportionality with these figures. I mentioned earlier the national debt of this country. And everybody's saying, oh, it's shocking, it's the worst since the Second World War, absolutely disgraceful. It's less than half the wealth of 1,000 people. That's how minuscule it is in relation to the wealth that actually exists in society today. There is no need for cuts whatsoever. And any politician that tells you there is either lying or they're duping you because they're standing up for the millionaires and the millionaire class, which is what they've been doing with Labour clothes over the last 13 years, and they should be ashamed of what they've been doing. If you want public sector cuts, let's cut the 100 billion that's been set aside for the immoral and illegal weapons of Trident nuclear submarines. If you want public sector cuts, let's cut the £6 billion of our involvement in illegal wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. If you want public sector cuts, let's cut the £5 billion of set aside for a civil liberties disaster in the shape of their ID card scheme. You want public sector cuts? Let's cut the wages of the MPs to the average wage of a skilled worker. There's your cuts for you. There's no need whatsoever for a single public sector job to be lost. No need for a single public service to be reduced. On the contrary, there is more than enough there for us to expand these services and to improve the society that we live in. Brothers and sisters, that is a brief. I've been under strict orders because I need to get the train home, so I've been told to be very brief. But that is a brief glimpse of the alternatives that exist to the single transferable menu that you're getting from the big parties, the big business parties who all represent the chiefs and the bosses. At the end of the day, we have to say to these politicians at hustings or at street stalls or wherever you can get your hands on them, why, oh why do you keep saying that there's going to be cuts? Why do we have to pay for a crisis that's got nothing to do with us? You know, I listened to Gordon Brown this morning unveiling the posters. I mean, I don't know about you, you know, they were going on, oh, big posters, going to be a grand poster. They pull these things, I'm no kid. I mean, you know, if ever there was a party that knows it's going to get a doing, it's the Labour Party. You know, absolutely. And Brown was asked about some banker's report that's coming out after the election that's going to say there's going to be a double dip recession because there's going to be interference with the banks. And Brown says, well, we have to restructure the banks. Let me say to you, they will repay every single penny that they have received from the public purse. Now either the guy, as I say, is a liar, or he's unable to connect the logic of his sentence. Because see, if they're going to repay every single penny of the £1.2 trillion that we gave them to bail them out, why the cuts?